So today we will talk about healthcare and real estate. Let me introduce you to Caroline Lamaud, co-founder of Anaxago, and she will develop the topic. So just before that, don't forget about question and answers. You have the option to ask your question and we handle them the last 10 minutes. So Caroline, good morning, good afternoon.
Yes.
Okay. We can hear you. Good afternoon.
Great.
It's a pleasure to have you part of the Teletalk program today. And say the stage is yours. You can share your screen.
Okay, great. Thanks. So here is my screen. So I hope everyone can see it. So I'm really happy to be here today and to be able to share the results of a study that our venture capitalist firm team conducted the past few months. My name is Caroline. I'm one of the three founders of the equity crowdfunding platform Anaxago, and I'll be giving you like a very short presentation. So do not hesitate to ask questions. I'll be happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. So first really interesting figure is that people spend an average of 60% of their time at home. Well, more than 100% right now. What is really important to know is that 90% of French residents admit to a direct link between their well-being and the comfort of their homes. What does it tell us? It tells us that housing is a crucial social issue in terms of its impact on the climate, on health, quality of life, and social cohesion. By including it in public health reflection, we can make it a powerful leverage of well-being for the inhabitants. Being housed in good conditions is essential in the lives of individuals. While housing is essential to meet basic needs, such as shelter, it is more than just having four walls and a roof. It must be a place of rest, of sleep, and a place offering security, privacy, and personal space. These are all the characteristics that make a home a home. Today, home is the ultimate shelter. 2.6 billion people are sheltering in place. More than a third of humanity stays at home, and it has been so for the past few weeks, and it will be for the next 4 months. So home became a multitasking shelter. This from a place where you used to sleep and eat. You know, sleep, eat, work out, and repeat. And this is where we have an issue, because housing can be the source of bad health. And in a time where you can't go anywhere but in your home, to be poorly housed is a true challenge. To be poorly housed, what is it? What does it mean? It is to live in a poor or very poor quality housing, to lack space and comfort, and to live in accommodation considered to be precarious. Why is it so important? Because poor housing generates physical consequences and psychological consequences. The presence of moisture or mold alone can increase the risk of asthma by 40%. Physical consequences ranges from sleeping troubles, virus poisonings, allergic pathologies, or respiratory pathology. On the psychological side, mood disorders, psychological disturbances, and degradation of self-esteem. So that is a real issue that our country is facing, and even more nowadays. What are the sources of bad health in housing? Sources of bad health can come from energy poverty. Living in housing that is difficult to eat increases by 50% the risk of declaring yourself in bad health. Among adults exposed to this, 41% suffer from anxiety and depression, while this rate does not exceed 30% in other households. Indoor pollution can also be a source of bad health. Noise, according to the World Health Organization, 4.3 million deaths worldwide each year are linked to indoor air pollution. Noise pollution can also be a source of fatigue, chronic fatigue, stress, and irritability, and is considered to be a source of bad health. Bad health in housing also comes from economic insecurity and it worsens isolation. So these are the 5 main issues that make bad health a problem and directly linked to housing. At Anaxago, we believe that innovation may be the answer to all of these issues, because innovation can help construction. Technology can generate comfort. Technology and innovation can help eco-responsibility and well-being and improve proximity. Innovation as a leverage to improve construction. New construction methods can favor access to a new house that meets health and comfort criteria. With robotics and 3D printing, you can speed up the time that people need to build a house, and it can facilitate access to housing, good housing. Construction innovation also part of the common efforts toward more eco-responsibility. Eco-construction phenomenon results in the use of new material and processes. So innovation as a whole enable people to construct in a more eco-friendly way and can enable a lot of people to access housing. I don't know if you've heard about this whole village in Mexico who was built in less than 3 weeks. All the houses were 3D printed. I'm sorry, English is a bit rusty. But what does it mean? It means that people who can't access to sanitation and good housing now have a true access to a regular home, because it's no less costly to build something that could last for a long time, and it's really speedy to build. Technology as a source of comfort. I bet none of us were really sensitive to the improvement of the air quality in their home. You might believe that air quality in your home is much better than the air you have in the street of Paris, for instance. But the way we feel, the way our body are have been reacting in the past few weeks, show us that the air pollution is a reality inside of our homes. Which is why innovation with sensor and materials dedicating to improve air quality can be a real solution. Like warning you about your environment and making it better and friendlier for you. Intelligent lighting system, new light sources, how you bring light in housing that sometimes lack of natural sources of light or are not adapted to working from home, for instance. Vegetation also is can be a real asset. It makes geophilia easier, and beyond this movement, it's really it provides better thermal insulation for the outside of the home. Property layout, designer and spatial planning, something you wouldn't think about, but it's considered a priority when it comes to well-being in the home. And a lot of property tech startups are actually participating in the transformation of this development process, making spatial planning something that you can do on a very tailored way, working directly with the real estate professionals who build your home. Innovation in eco-responsibility and well-being. Energy analysis, tracking sensors and software. The integration of sensors in home, it's becoming more and more democratic and makes it possible to monitor household consumption, but also to analyze its energy performance. Diagnostic and predictive maintenance, but also autonomous housing and the innovative source of energy. All this make the fact that a house with more eco-responsible makes it a place of well-being much more accessible to everyone and anyone. And last but not least, housing better connected to improve proximity. Proximity is really something that we need to consider right now, because people are stuck at home. Some of us will be the older people and seniors from our population will be stuck at home for much longer than we are. And housing should be answering their issue of proximity, not worsen them. And innovation with proximity networks and platforms makes it really, really easier for people to connect from their home with people living close by, locally, and really support people who need help and who are isolated from their own family. Also, moreover, apart from proximity, security, support for seniors, system that make sure that they are safe at home and they are able to reach out to people for help. So connected floors to detect faults, sensors in sensitive areas of the house, intelligent system with the ability to learn from the lifestyle of the individual to better support him in his or her in his daily life. And of course, alarm systems and connected locks. So why am I talking to you about healthcare, real estate, and innovation and startups? I'll go back a little and explain who we are, who is Anaxago, and why we became one of the most prominent PropTech investor in France in the past few years. And then I'd like to share with you a startup selection that our venture capital firm managed to draw together during this study. Those are the few startups that we believe will be the answer to most of the healthcare and real estate issues that we mentioned earlier in the presentation. So who are we? Anaxago was born in 2012. We were one, as I said earlier, we were one of the first equity crowdfunding platform to launch in France. At first, we had a strong focus on seed investment for startups. And we moved into real estate in 2014 when a property developer reached out to us, asking us to fund his next project. He truly believed that crowdfunding was something that could be really appealing to private investors who were looking to invest in real estate. As an entrepreneur, you never say no. You say, okay, I'm gonna have a look and I'll get back to you. It took us a few weeks to build the investment project, but it was a great success. The project raised 1.8 million euros in less than 40 days, which was, it hit like a true record at the time. Nobody had raised that much fund in such a short amount of time. Nowadays it's much quicker, but at that time it was really something of a success. And well, we kept moving into the real estate industry, and nowadays it's like 80% of our flux are directed towards real estate investment. We have 100K members. All of them are private investors. Not all of them, 20% of them are institutional and corporate investors. We made more than 200 investments, invested more than 200 million euros, and had more than 50 positive exits. Today, Anaxago is still an independent group, majority owned by its founders, so us, and we have a team of 40. So moving on to property tech. What made us believe that property tech was really something we could go into was that we had this unique access to the professional real estate industry. We have a very accurate sense of their needs as professionals. This industry was one of the last to be really disrupted. And this is why we decided to focus our efforts on startup disrupting real estate, making sure that we were able to select the companies who were really providing value to real estate professionals. And as we did, we built the largest French portfolio in property tech. We are the first PropTech investor in France. We gather 9, almost 10 participation. We have 1 positive exit. One of our companies was acquired by Foncia a couple of years ago. 100% of our participation are seeing constant growth. They gather more than 25 million euros revenues. All the team together was more than 240 employees. And our VC, our venture investment director, Alexandre Hérault, is constantly looking for the best startups in this area. So we'll go on with the startup list that we selected. This is a startup selection of a few companies. We have much more of them, and we met with much more of them, but this is the one we choose to show you today. So in the materials and construction area, we decided to show you Anaxago. They develop an air gel type insulating materials, offering a very high performance. The silica gel offered in the form of granules has many applications, in particular as insulating plasters. Bati Print 3D technology has created an affordable social housing adaptable to terrain and energy efficient. On the improved comfort and well-being side, we decided for ABX, which is a digital platform which offers future owners the possibility of personalizing their accommodation prior to the building permit. We also decided to show you SmartHub. SmartHub is one of the participation of Anaxago. They offer turnkey smart housing solution for new and old residential real estate. They're very unique, and they already equipped a lot of buildings here in France. Cozy Air. Cozy Air is the first connected expert service in indoor air quality. It's a very interesting one. We're looking at it very closely. Ciment makes the daily operation of manager visible and allows owners and tenants to become actors in their residence. So about well-being and proximity. I'm trying to go as quick as I can to make sure we have time for questions. In the area of energy, I'd like to introduce you to 3 startups. So first, Immoblade. They've developed a patented glazing technology. It improves the energy efficiency of buildings and the comfort of occupants. Faizi, this one is from Netherlands. They offer a smart window product consisting of glass, capable of converting light into electricity, transforming the glass surfaces of homes into solar panels. This one I really like. Ajax has developed wireless detectors capable of immediately identifying intrusive indoor and outdoor threats with photo tagging. So that's more about security. Connect and break out of isolation, proximity. We have selected 3 companies in this area. Noviacare, faulty prevention system that provides support and security for seniors in their homes, but also Nextdoor, a network of American origin. It's based on networking between neighbors, so also solidarity in France. They arrived in France in 2018, and it enables people to create links and be informed of everything that's happening in their neighborhood. And last but not least, À la Casa. It's an app, a network that reinvent lives in building and neighborhoods. It's a communication tool aimed at improving and smoothing the interactions between stakeholders of a building and of a district. So this is basically all for the presentation I wanted to share with you today. I want to thank you for your attention, and I'm ready to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Caroline, for the presentation. It was really clear. We just had a first question talking about healthcare. The word is not sure to be real understanding by everyone. Healthcare and real estate is more about health and well-being, right? In the assets, different assets.
Oh, so there is the healthcare real estate asset class, and here we are talking about healthcare as a trend, so of course well-being, but also medication and energy saving and everything. So yeah, no, we're not talking about the asset class. Okay, good, thanks. Just have a quick question. How do the results of your study on healthcare orient or reorient the strategy of investment you have into the startups? We decided a few months back, like a few years back, to be honest, to dedicate 20% of our investment to projects who had a true impact. In real estate, it's we really focus on projects we are into environmental rehabilitation and buildings that take into account the health of their tenants. It's been on our mind for a very long time, and we really take that into consideration. Like, our investment need to make an impact, like a positive impact, and they need to take into consideration everything that will make the future bearable. I mean, you can't build a building like you did 20 years ago, and that would be irresponsible from us to fund a building that's not compliant with all those rules.
So the current situation we are experiencing or we are passing through is just a confirmation of this long-term strategy you initiated, right?
Yes, and I wish I wished it needn't happen, but yeah, there was a confirmation.
One question from our audience is connectivities for safety. Does that mean more expensive housing? What is the impact on the final costs?
Well, as I said, housing can be more expensive, like connection can be more expensive, but construction methods and innovation enable construction methods to be sometimes less costly. So I guess in the end, there will be, we'll make ends meet in the end. Like the influence won't be noticeable for the end buyer.
Okay, right. So all about affordable housing is key for you in your strategy when you look at a startup
Yes.
project and product, right? Okay. We don't have any more questions.
Okay.
Maybe just to close the session, you can tell us if you have a strategy of investment into startups in Europe or out of France.
We do. We used to be only investing in France, but we launched one of the startups we are funding right now is from Belgium, and we are looking to expand European-wide.
Great, awesome. So maybe if we have people from our audience that want to contact you, we can just share your email address in the comment. Okay.
Of course.
Good. So thank you, Caroline. I think we are over the timing and the topic. Really interesting. Thank you again. Thank you all of you for being with us today. So I want to say see you tomorrow. Same place, same time, and in the meantime, be safe.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.